Thanks for tuning into the BoshNRoll channel. Liking the video and subscribing to the channel are free and easy for you, and they help me out a lot. If you want to go further with your support, Patreon and YouTube membership offer access to the BoshNRoll Discord community, early access to lists, written content, things like that. You can have me play your deck on the channel, and the highest tiers come with individual coaching sessions. If you use YouTube membership, you also get sweet badges and emotes integrated here into YouTube. You can support the channel while you shop at tcgplayer.com by using my affiliate link in the video description, and you can play any deck anytime by using a cardhoarder.com loan account on Magic Online. If you want to wear your support, check out the merch store. And of course, thanks for being here. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome to another BoshNRoll Legacy video. Today at the request of Patreon subscriber Beerguard, I have brewed up Legacy Blue-White Eldrazi. This was one of Beerguard's favorite modern decks back in the day. They banned that deck into oblivion, of course, but he has tasked me with bringing it back into Legacy. I have some experience with this deck. I actually got second place in a Star City Classic with modern Blue-White Eldrazi during the brief time that deck was legal. I also day 2'd Grand Prix Detroit, I believe it was, during Eldrazi Winter. I had a pretty good Eldrazi Winter, all things considered, and it was with this Blue-White Eldrazi deck. There's also a mono-white Eldrazi deck in Vintage that I was able to pull some inspiration from, and we have not seen this quite in Legacy before. Legacy is the format where it just made more sense to be monocolor if you wanted to play Eldrazi, or zero color, as the case may be. But I'm up to the challenge. Let's take a look at this list. You will notice it is blue-white per Beerguard's request. Adakar Waste is the best land that there is for... It's basically a 3-color land, a tri-land, makes colorless and blue and white. Cavern of Souls does the same thing. Secluded Courtyard, a huge upgrade from Neon Dynasty. Unclaimed Territory is like a Cavern of Souls as far as casting the colored Eldrazi, but it doesn't help you activate Eldrazi's Displacer. I guess this activated ability is colorless, isn't it? I thought this was white and 2 when I was bringing the deck. All right, I guess it doesn't matter. But Secluded Courtyard, in case it did matter, also lets you activate the abilities of the creatures that you have, which affects some Eldrazi, maybe less than I thought, but it's still a cool upgrade to the deck. And due to the high power nature of Legacy, there are a bunch of hateful permanents in here. I got 4 Chalice, 4 Thalia, 4 Thorn of Amethyst. This is taken from the Vintage playbook. 2 of these 3 cards are restricted in Vintage, in Thorn and Chalice, but we get all 4, so I'm playing them. Got Ancient Tomb to ramp into those, and Lotus Petal is unfortunately the best option to ramp into Thalia. Normally, white Stompy decks would play Chrome Mox, but the Eldrazi cards are all devoid. Even the ones that have colored mana costs to cast them are colorless, and Chrome Mox doesn't tap for colorless mana if you exile Eldrazi Displacer, unfortunately. Lotus Petal is the best one we got. Mox Diamond is the other one that's worth considering, but Eldrazi decks want to keep a hand that makes like exactly 4 or 5 mana, and they don't really want to discard a land for Mox Diamond. It's just, I feel like that tension isn't great. They want to use their lands as spells later on with Wasteland, so like, there's no way to recoup that card advantage either. It's just, I didn't feel like it was a good fit, but it might be worth exploring if anyone wants to work on this deck after this video is over. Thalia and Thorn help the opponent not cast any spells, or help me keep my opponent from casting any spells. Chalice, same thing. And then I'm just dropping fatties along the way. Thought-Knot Seer needs no introduction. Reality Smasher needs no introduction. The cards that may need introductions: Eldrazi Displacer, 3 mana 3/3, 2 and a colorless, exile another target creature, then return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. On the surface, this is a combat trick where you like blink their Murktide Regent on their turn. It enters the battlefield tapped. They can't attack with it and can't block with it, and you can just spend 3 mana to neutralize a Murktide Regent for the whole game. Gets a little more interesting if you flicker something like Delver. It flickers back on the 1/1 side, so they do all the work flickering their Delver, and then it's gone. Back into Fugitive Wizard. Murktide Regent loses all its counters too. Big deal there. In your own deck, you can protect creatures from removal. They go to Swords to Plowshares or Thalia, you just flicker it, and It's kind of functions like a giver of runes in the sense that they have to answer the Eldrazi Displacer before they can answer anything else. In your own deck, Thought-Knot Seer, you can flicker Thought-Knot Seer in their draw step. So they'll draw a card for their turn. You could flicker Eldrazi Displacer and stack it so they draw a card for Eldrazi, for Thought-Knot Seer leaving the battlefield first, and then Thought-Knot Seer comes back in and takes the best of the two cards that they have in their hand. And if they're Hellbent, you could just pay 3 mana to mill them for 1, basically. They draw a card, then exile it. Unless it's an instant they can cast in between. I have actually won games with that. There are engines, as we'll talk about in a moment, that make a lot of mana in this deck. That brings us to Drowner of Hope, Dr. Owner himself. 6 mana, 5/5. Enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Scion creature tokens. They have sacrificed this creature, add colorless, and you could sacrifice a Scion to tap target creature. Eldrazi Displacer, with Dr. Owner, every 3 mana you have puts 2 more creatures into play that also sack for mana. It's really hard to kill Drowner of Hope because the 2 Scions it brings with it are 2 of the 3 mana necessary to flicker it with Eldrazi Displacer. So this 5/5 just gets to exist forever. It could sack its own friends and pay 1 extra with Displacer to just leave play, come back in, bring the Scions back. If you have mana floating around, you could just flicker it and go wide with Scions. And these are the 1/1 versions. These are not the 0/1 versions from Rise of the Eldrazi. These are the second Zendikar Visit ones. Eldrazi Sky Spawner does a mini impression of that. This card might look low impact for Legacy, and it wasn't in my original build. It made it back in as a 2-of to the final version because 2/1 flying trades with Delver, which is pretty relevant. And you get a mini Dr. Owner impression here. Like if you block Murktide Regent, flicker in response, you don't take any damage, and you get an extra Scion out of the deal. And the Scions sack for a mana as well. Eldrazi Sky Spawner can help you jump the curve to Reality Smasher or Drowner of Hope, and then help you get set up. So this is a role player in the deck. We'll see if it actually holds up, but I think it's going to be worth the 2 slots we gave it. And the last card we haven't talked about is Palace Jailer. This card has fallen off in Legacy, in white decks, and control decks in general. But I think if it has a home left, it's here. Enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. Exile target creature an opponent controls until an opponent becomes the Monarch. The clause that they get their creature back when they're the Monarch is really important because that means you can machine gun with Displacer. Like Palace Jailer, exile your thing. As long as you have 3 mana up with Displacer and Palace Jailer, they can't play any more creatures because they'll just get exiled. This is not a typical Oblivion Ring where if the permanent leaves the battlefield, they get their thing back. They have to actually connect with you or take the Monarchy some other way. So Displacer plus Jailer can exile any number of creatures. As long as you stay the Monarch, they stay gone. The sideboard I've just packed up against combo, just for Leyline and for Priest. Priest is cool because not only does it come in against the graveyard decks and the Zenith decks, but it combos with Eldrazi Displacer. If you flicker something with Displacer, it would enter the battlefield without being cast. So Displacer plus Containment Priest is 3 mana exile target creature, which can be pretty powerful in creature matchups. It does shut down the combo of flickering your own things, which is why I didn't put it in the main deck. In a lot of vintage versions of this deck, there's just 4 Priest in the main, but Dredge is more prevalent in that format anyway, so I thought it better in the sideboard for this build. 3 Null Rods, shut down combo, and 8 cast as well as we can. And a piece of tech from the modern build of this deck that survived into the Legacy one is Worship. If you control a creature, damage that reduce your life to less than 1 reduces to 1 instead. I'm counting on this versus Delver and other really aggressive decks or decks trying to reduce your life total to 0. A lot of those can't really remove a 5/5 creature. And if you get to resolve Worship, you can ignore those 3 power flyers for as long as you like and just beat them up on the ground. Worship is really powerful against certain colors like Izzet and Grixis that are not good at removing an enchantment. That is the deck as I've constructed it. I've explained all of my card choices. I don't know if this is going to hang in Legacy. Hopefully we get some interesting games out of it. I certainly don't think we broke it, but I think I have done my best on the at least theoretical level to port this old modern deck into Legacy, which is the only place it's still legal. Let's go try it out. Oh, baby, look at this hand. I'm on the draw. This is definitely a mulligan. But wow, yeah, that was a lot of hate. Okay, this one's better. I'm going to keep this and send one of the displacers. This one can at least turn one chalice. This is the type of hand that just dies to wasteland, but let's hope that that's not what's going on. Ancient Tomb, chalice on 1. Most Windswept Heath decks do have wasteland in them, unless it's like elves. I don't think I want to follow up with a chalice on 0. Oh god, yep, we're in trouble. It hurts. It hurts. At least that chalice is in though. Cool. Right, I'm going to Cavern on Eldrazi. I don't want to float the Ancient Tomb out there because I think that is the better of the 2 lands, or 3 possible lands in my hand. Oh god, I didn't put any basics in my deck. I was like, the difference between Wasteland and Ghost Quarter isn't that big. Let's just go, and look at me now. Look at me now. Eldrazi Displacer, get in there. The way that you can beat the land destruction is get ahead of it. Just, they can't afford to Wasteland you and Ghost Quarter you if they're behind and dying. I'm suspecting this is like lands because of the Ghost Quarter and not green-white depths. They're cracking their fetch. Can't Swords to Plowshares here. That's the one thing I have going for me right now. I can Prismatic Ending, but I have another chalice in my hand. Good news, everybody. We're going in. Ooh, interesting. They missed a land drop. Yeah, I'm gonna chalice on 1. Again. Like, I could have chaliced on 1 and played the Eldrazi, but I'm gonna chalice on 1 and beat up their mana. I think that's a lot better here. If they're gonna be missing land drops over there, let's live in this scrappy little world. We did it. Okay, this looks like green-white depths. The Prismatic Ending is kind of unusual for lands. Green-white depths. Do I even sideboard? Thorn of Amethyst is a lot worse. I could just turn Thorns into Leylines. Kind of sucks that I can't cast Leyline, though this might be a good worship matchup as well. The Green-White Depths does use its graveyard in the... when it comes to the size of Reclaimer and Knight, though they are also a Zenith deck. So if I Containment Priest and Worship and treat it like a creature deck, I think that's the way to go. Board out the Thorn, which doesn't affect many of their things. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to treat this like a Zenith creature deck, which it is. But it's also kind of a combo deck and kind of a lands deck. I've chosen my direction. Got a 1-lander here. Can't keep this. Mulligan. Okay, we got the creature side of the deck, and the one of Eye of Ugin is here. I'll keep this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If they don't disrupt me, I think I'm going to send the Palace Jailer and just hope that the Eldrazi plan works. Or maybe I send Dr. Owner and lean in on Jailer. Yeah, that sounds better, actually. All right, sorry, Doctor. They could go wide with creatures in a way that I really don't want to have to play through. I'm going to lead on Eye, because that one I don't mind if it gets wasted so much, because it doesn't cast spells the same way that like Eldrazi Temple does. Like I can tap Eldrazi Temple to cast Chalice of the Void or Thalia or Palace Jailer, but that's not true of Eye of Ugin. And it's very powerful if they just don't interact with it. Ooh, interesting. I'm just going in on Thought-Knot Seer. If you're going to give me a turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer, I'm going to take it. What do we got? Do you have the Plow in response? Oh, you're an Uro deck. This is fun. Oh, 2 plows. Okay. I am definitely taking Uro. Yeah, I think Uro is the right answer. That's just not a card I want to wade through. Sucks they have 2 plows, but let's do this. If they like end step plow, if they have a Dryad Arbor, I might be in some trouble. Just trying to think of how I can get them behind the Monarch with Palace Jailer. Yeah, if they cast Scavenging Ooze here and have a Dryad Arbor in their deck, I'm actually just in a ton of trouble if I jam Palace Jailer, which I don't have the correct colors of mana to do anyway, so I'll just hold my horses. Ooh, I like that one. Okay, I'm gonna Secluded Courtyard and name Eldrazi, which lets me play Eldrazi Sky Spawner. And if they spend Swords to Plowshares on this, I'm not mad about it. I could Lotus Petal out Eldrazi Displacer right now, but I'm kind of trying to walk them into something here. If I can get my Flicker engine online and gum up the board with 1/1s, that kind of competes with Field of the Dead, as funny as that is. There's the field, and I do have 4 Wastelands in my deck, so we're not just like cold to this stuff. Fast Vandal. Okay. I don't have any targets for that. Cool. All right. Yeah, backup Displacer. That's what I'm looking for. White, Eldrazi Displacer. And I can play another one. Eldrazi Displacer. Now we're cooking. And the second one resolving is a huge deal because if they forgot about my Eldrazi Scion, then I can use one of them to flicker the other and just fizzle the plow and start beating down with my flying creature. Get in there. They have Plow, Ghost Quarter, and a mystery card in their hand. They could just Ghost Quarter and then Plow. It's a pretty good setup. Right of the Reliquary. Okay, that I am happy to eat with Palace Jailer. Opponent's taking a long time to think in the end step. Oh, they're cracking their fetch. Hell yeah. Walked right into that. Okay. Flicker target creature. So I'll flicker my Displacer with my other Displacer. Fizzles the Swords to Plowshares. Take those all day. Nice. Lotus Petal lets me cast Palace Jailer. Does playing the second petal do anything? It lets me keep Eldrazi Temple open, but that doesn't actually help me. Jailer, baby. Put that Knight of the Reliquary in jail. This is pretty fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm just gonna pass the turn. I'm not gonna play chicken with anything here. If I untap with a bunch of mana available and the Monarch, then I'm good. Wasteland, Ghost Quarter. They have 6 of their 7 lands that they need here. I hope this is just some creature. Titania, Protector of Argoth. All right, that's a really good creature. Oh, that's a good way to end your... They get 2 5/3s out of this. Oh, and a bunch of 2/2s. All right. Okay, okay. That was a really powerful card to be the last card left in the hand there. Oh, they wastelanded. They fucked up. If they fetched first, then they would have gotten a zombie. Instead, they do not get a zombie. Does card have trample? No. Does Elemental have trample? No. Okay. Cool. Another jailer. I'm gonna Cavern or Courtyard on human. I have 1, 2, 3... 1, 2, or nope, this is not Temple, this is Eye. Eye doesn't help me at all here. If I Jailer the Titania, they'll have 5 attackers to my 5 blockers. Okay, I think I have to Jailer the Titania. You're going to jail. Exile Titania. If they have a Dryad Arbor in the deck, I might lose the game on the spot. And I assume that they do. Please don't search up Dryad Arbor. Okay, that's not Dryad Arbor. Good news, everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I can make blocks that leave Displacer and Jailer in play. Or at least one of the Jailers in play. Alright, I gotta survive this turn. Wow, not even attacking with everything. Nice. Make my blocks. Put Displacer in front of 2/2. Put my other Displacer in front of 5/3, and then I'll double block here. Do I want to double block here? I could just flicker those next turn. I don't really love these blocks, but they are, I think, the best ones I have. They Ghost Quarter me and I don't draw a land. I'm in trouble. Burrow's pretty good. Please don't come up with a land. Please miss, please miss, please miss. If they Ghost Quarter me, then they're out of the Field of the Dead for like a long time. And I can cast Thalia no matter what they hit with Ghost Quarter, if they use Ghost Quarter at all. If they don't, I can just flicker their token. Alright, I've made it to my untap step. Found a Cavern. I'm going to Cavern on Eldrazi. And then I'm just going to pass the turn and draw cards. We're in good shape. That was the stressful turn where I needed them to miss on something or other. Another Cavern. Yeah, lands are all good right now. Anything that ticks up my Displacer is good. And now I can get really tricky in combat. Like block Scavenging Ooze with Palace Jailer, Flicker Jailer, and Exile Elemental. Block. I'm gonna block Ooze, block Elemental, block Masked Vandal. I am putting something in front of all the creatures in case they like plow my Jailer in response to me flickering it. Flicker Jailer. Do not have the removal spell. Exile the 5/3. I get to keep everything. They lose their Vandal. Ooze doesn't have Trample. They don't have 2 blue mana to escape Uro right now. And if they did, I could just exile it. Ending that. Okay, yeah, that's really good. Alright, now we gotta work through this gigantic Scavenging Ooze. 2 of my Jailers are gone, and 2 of my Displacers are gone already. Ancient Tomb would have been good last turn. Cavern of Souls on human. Next turn, I can activate Eye of Ugin. If I can tread water long enough to get another turn, another draw. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm actually like pretty close here. I'm gonna leave back all my chumps. I don't need to attack. I just need to draw cards and not die. They're gonna eat some. Oh, okay. They are Ghost Quartering themselves to fix the blue mana so they can Uro next turn. That makes sense. Takes them pretty far out of Field of the Dead. Oh god, Ice Fang Coatl. Glad I left my flyer back. Alright, additional concerns are emerging. Yeah, if I lose the Monarch and they get back their Knight of the Reliquary and their Titania, I'm definitely just dead. DED. Block the flyer, block the ooze. Are there enough creatures to make this too big? Yeah, there's a million creatures in the graveyard. Yeah, I'm just gonna make the chump block here. Dr. Owner is a great draw. There's a lot of good draws in the deck. And getting myself into Eye of Ugin is good, but I can't take a single hit because they have so many creatures locked under the Palace Jailers right now. Oh, I meant to put a Karakas in this deck and forgot. Alright, I don't have a Karakas to draw to here. Come on, Displacer off the top. Palace Jailer off the top. Wasteland, not helpful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can activate Eye right now and cast a 1-mana Eldrazi. Okay, there might be a plan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Activate Eye. Search for a colorless creature. If I get the Eldrazi Sky Spawner this turn, that's 2 blockers. Yeah, I'll grab Sky Spawner and then cast it. Oh, this is getting ugly. Desperation mode in full effect. Drawing extra cards. Temple helps. Anything that ramps mana here and gets me into flickering Eldrazi Displacer is good. They're up to 5 cards in their hand again from Hellbent. Uro is a hell of a drug. Right, with my blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Right. I'm gonna line up my easy blocks. Having the extra mana versus losing the Jailer in play to be able to flicker it, I don't think is worth keeping the Scion around. Come on, Drowner. 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 Another Cavern. Well, I can... Oh, both of my Sky Spawners are spent, so I can't make that same play again. I can get a... Oh, I can get a Thought-Knot Seer. Is that even good? I don't think that's good, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Activate. I can cast Displacer, but I'm short of activating it. Is there anything I can get that's worth getting? God, Sky Spawner, you were so close to being what I needed. I need a hero. Okay, is it better to get the Displacer now and put it into play? Or just take my hit, let them unload. Oh, they get to buy back Wasteland with Titania. I think I am correct. I could get Thought-Knot Seer and just check their hand. Block, block. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I am sure that I just lose the game on the spot if I lose the Monarch. I'm going to do everything I can to keep the Monarchy another turn. Not sure what I'm going to do after that, but I'm not winning this game if I'm not drawing 2 cards. Shit. Okay. I'm losing the Monarchy. Ooh, Supreme Verdict. Renegade Rally. Wow, I never had a chance. This deck is crazy. I think I'm going to take Renegade Rallier. That one is not beatable. But none of these cards actually are. All right, yeah, this is a complete brew that I have not seen before and may never see again. There's no All Is Dust in my list. Yeah, this is too many lands here. Bant Creatures is what we're playing against here. They can make Ooze a 6/6 with the green mana they have available. I will at least trade off with what I can trade off with. Or maybe I'm just supposed to leave Palace Jailer in play. Yeah, that might have been bad. Yeah, they're getting back Knight and Titania right now. Titania buys back Wasteland, hits the Eye of Ugin. Oh, and they drew Swords to Plowshares. Okay. All right, I don't need to see the fallout of all of this. That was cool for a minute. We flooded out pretty bad while they drew spells, but that was a good back and forth game. Uro busted it open, as Uro does. Okay, I don't think Thalia is good, but is there anything better? This is not a deck that can reasonably cast Leyline of the Void. Oh, my Worship might have actually saved that game. Worship's probably really good here. I could cut the Thalias for the Ley Lines and try to just take Uro and the size of Knight of the Reliquary out of the game. That makes my beatdown a bit worse, but Thalia doesn't do much here. Okay, I'm going to try this. I think it's kind of desperate times, but this is the tool that I have. I have to cut off their outs wherever I can find them. And Uro is a pretty big reason that Eldrazi is not played in Legacy anymore. Okay, there are ley lines here. I'll keep this hand. I wish it was a little more explosive, but what are you going to do? Drop these ley lines. And I'm going to Cavern first. I think Addarkar Waste is actually better than Cavern against the deck that I don't think has any counterspells in it. Now I need mana this game, and I would be in trouble if they don't have any. Or if they have like Wasteland, or if I don't draw lands. I hope they Zenith for one this turn. That would be the perfect lineup, home run swing for me. Wasteland's really bad. I'm going to flash in Priest. Start attacking or start pressuring their removal or whatever it is that we're doing here. Let's start doing it. Land, 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 land. Oof, Force of Vigor, pitching Mass Vandal. That's pretty good. All right. Still need a land. That doesn't change that I need a land. Fuck, fuck, really need a land. Ancient Tomb, Ancient Tomb, Ancient Tomb, Ancient Tomb! Okay. Okay. And I'm gonna lead on Sky Spawner. They pitched their Mass Vandal, so maybe Worship will actually show up, but one of my 4 lands that cast Worship is already in the graveyard. I have the 4 Petals and the 4 Addarkar Wastes. They plowed my flying creature. Sure. It's interesting they care about that more than they care about Priest. Outland Liberator. That's a good one, and it's daytime. That thing kills Worship. That's disappointing. Thought-Knot Seer, F yeah. Let me see your hand. They have 3 cards left. Prismatic Ending, Knight of the Reliquary, Scavenging Ooze. What am I worried about here? I think Knight is the best card in this hand, and it's not even close. Prismatic Ending and Ooze are cards they can cast. I'm more worried about Knight, though. I'm going to attack with my Containment Priest. If they want to trade 2/2 for 2/2, I'll take it, because they can remove this thing anyway. Thought-Knot Seer is going to be a lot harder to get through. Yeah, glad I took the Knight. Still don't... Oh, that's a basic Plains. I was about to say they don't have white mana, but yes, they definitely do. And Prismatic Ending, they can hit a 3-drop now. I'll just hang a 3-drop out there. That looks pretty good. And no attacks this time. Maybe I should have given them the double block on Thought-Knot Seer. Or no, because Ooze can be... Oh no, there's no creatures in the graveyard. Yeah, maybe I should have given them the double block on Thought-Knot Seer. Yeah, spend your ending on Displacer, which I have another of. Cavern on Human this time. I'm going to put them to the test immediately. Here's Displacer. One of us is way ahead and the other's way behind, starting right now. God, I hope I get this engine online against a fair creature deck. No! I hate my life. The Bayou's interesting. That means they can Prismatic Ending for 4. I don't know if that means they have a black card or not, but it does mean that they can Ending for 4. My life total's pretty low, and this Liberator is going to flip. Liberator is what, a 3/3 on the other side? I'll offer the trade with Containment Priest while I still can. Alright, this lets Ooze get big enough to fight Thought-Knot-Seer eventually, but it gets the Liberator out of the way, which answers my Worship, just heads up. Okay. Wasteland. Are they taking out my Tomb? Yes. Alright. Ooze can become bigger than Thought-Knot-Seer over the course of this turn cycle. Temple's not bad. I'm going to attack now while I can still attack. My plan is mostly Worship this game anyway. I might as well start beating up their life total. Found a land. I hope that's not good. Oh, they had another Liberator. Jeez. This deck is something. Okay, now Worship is not a plan. Chalice of the Void. That dies immediately if I play it. I guess I'm not playing any spells. I can Chalice for 0 sometime in the future to turn it back to daytime, but I think I've lost this game at this point. 2 Outland Liberators. That is 2 more than I would expect to see in a Legacy deck. Now I need Drowner or Displacer. Like, I actually do need to go wide and creature this opponent now. I'm not going to be able to cheese them with Worship. Ooze is a 4/4. They can pretty safely start attacking me. Ghost Quarter is brutal. They know I don't have any basics at this point. They've used Ghost Quarter before. Oh, I guess if Trap Breaker attacks, it dies to Thought-Knot-Seer. I should be playing this Chalice out. Yeah, that was bad. Now I'm going to take 4 for no reason. Yeah, I can... The 3/3 just dies in combat. Oh, Dr. Owner! Let's crack it open, big brother. The Doctor is about to operate. I also get to attack with my 4/4 now. Yeah, that's a real card, all of a sudden. Can't Prismatic Ending that. Literally not possible in the Magic the Gathering rules. They could play a creature that's bigger, but they cannot Prismatic Ending it. They're also just dead on board right now. If they can't gain life or remove one of my creatures, I just tap, attack for 9. Trapbreaker does actually need a target to activate. They can't just chuck it in the graveyard to gain a life with Ooze. My opponent's been in the tank for like 4 minutes now. I wonder if they're just salt timing me out, or if they actually have a way through this, or they're like trying to figure out how to bait me into doing the wrong thing. Like, if they do nothing, I just untap, see what I draw, and move forward. If they attack with Ooze, I block with a Scion, and before damage, sack to tap the Trapbreaker. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what they got. Hopefully it's nothing. Okay, we've moved into combat. No spells yet. And we've moved out of combat. Now there's a spell. Okay, it's Uro. Why didn't that happen pre-combat? That's weird. What if you have, like, land towards the Plowshares? I don't know. Go ahead, carry on with yourself, though. That life gain is a problem. Come on, Displacer. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I'm going to tap Scavenging Ooze. I'm not going to tap the other one, because I kind of do want 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, the attack's not lethal anyway. Let me just attack with my 2 creatures that can attack. Opponent said, sorry for the delay, I was disturbed. I would be disturbed by what I'm doing too. Don't feel bad. Yeah, getting a chump block out of this thing is basically the best I could hope for at this phase of the game. Because I have Chalice of the Void chillin'. Worship is still part of my plan. Here's the Displacer. Do I just want to displace the Doctor right now? Nope, they've had enough. Blue-White Eldrazi, undefeated in Legacy, as far as I know. On to the next round. I have quite a hateful pile of cards on the draw in round 2. I'm going to keep it. Wish I was on the play, but you can't have everything. This Cavern is probably going on Human to facilitate Palace Jailer. Let's see what they got for me, and I hope it lines up poorly against Chalice and Thorn. Preordain. Okay. I want to Thorn this opponent. If they led on Delver, I'd want to Chalice them, but leading on Preordain, I want to Thorn them. I'm going to go Lotus Petal, Ancient Tomb, Thorn. Just leave the Lotus Petal in play. And then next turn I can Cavern Thalia. Or Chalice on one, whatever I need to do. Or another Thorn. Lotus Petal, Ancient Tomb. Opponent is already rolling their eyes, I'm sure. Thorn of Amethyst, let's go. Shut it down over there. Shut it down. I've been here before. I know what they're thinking. They're thinking, oh, that's not a problem. I can play through that. And then the second one, and then the third one. Pile on. Opponent's a fan of the channel. Let's see if that's still true after this match. All right, Smasher. We got a plan to do once we have them locked down. I'm gonna name Human with this still. And I'm gonna play the Thorn, the second Thorn here. I think that's better than Thalia because Swords to Plowshares gets turned on. If they had Prismatic Ending, they would have cast it last turn. In general, artifacts are just harder to answer than creatures are. The necessary Feel Bad, Force of Will, pitching Flusterstorm. Okay. I could Chalice on 0 right now, but just hoping I don't have to. If they are Show and Tell, I can put in Palace Jailer. Like if they go like Ancient Tomb Show and Tell right now, I can put in Palace Jailer. Oh yeah, the 2-mana Brainstorm. Burn for your sins. The sin of putting 1-mana cantrips in your deck. Brainstorm's a lot worse as the 2-mana card. Floating that high impact observation out there for you all to enjoy. Okay, there's some sort of Lotus Petal strat. 3 islands and a Lotus Petal. I suspect that this is Show and Tell, by the way. That is my best guess. Sky Spawner. I think I want Thalia in play. There's still a mana short of casting Show and Tell. If they just put in a creature, it's not going to be good enough. If they did just shuffle a Brainstorm, so they couldn't have stacked their deck to be like... Oh, they couldn't Omniscience me this turn anyway, so they would have... Their hand would have to be Mana Source, Show and Tell, Omniscience, not even counting the payoff. So I can't get Omniscienced this turn. They could put it into play, but... Opponent just asked me, what do I have against non-creature spells? Well, they're really powerful, you see, and my deck is only creatures. Yeah. Alright, let's just light it up here. This is counterable, but it would cost 2 cards out of their hand and 2 mana. Like, I could have played Chalice there to try to stop further cantripping, but you gotta know with decks like this where the point is where it's time to make them dead. And we're there. The 2-mana Lotus Petal. Fuck yeah. That does give them enough mana to cast Show and Tell next turn. Lotus Petal of my own. I can put them to 2. Play Sky Spawner. Oh, 2 and a blue for Sky Spawner. It turns out with these 2 Lotus Petals that spending the 1 mana 2 turns ago to put Chalice into play on 0 would have been smart. But there's no way to know that at the time. And I should probably invest in my Lotus Petal also. That's a combo. Thorn of Amethyst, Thalia, Lotus Petal, go. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 permanents in play. Even if they do Show and Tell, Omniscience, cast Emrakul, attack, annihilate everything except Reality Smasher and Scion, and Sky Spawner, chump with Sky Spawner, kill them. I got this. Here's the Show and Tell. Here's the Palace Jailer. Don't mind if I do. Yoink. Not in my house. That's exciting. Dr. Owner and Palace Jailer are both really good against traditional Show and Tell decks. Okay, what do I even do here? Containment Priest comes in for sure. Uh-oh. Magic Online's doing the thing it's been doing lately where it freezes during sideboarding. I have learned from my past mistakes, just Control-Alt-Delete, close it out, reboot immediately. I'm not messing around trying to hope that it catches up. Okay, I am back in action here. Containment Priest is good. So are all of the cards in my deck. I guess Sky Spawner is the worst card in this deck. Like, Displacer can keep Emrakul at bay indefinitely. I like Smasher's ability to end the game. Drowner is also a cool thing I can put into play off Show and Tell. Mindbreak Trap, like, there's worlds where that's okay, but I don't think it's actually good, especially if my prison plan even starts to happen. Yeah, I'm just going to do the Priest for the Sky Spawners. This is another matchup where the Caracas that I forgot to put in my deck would be helpful. Yeah, let's pile it on. Triple Thorn into the Doctor. Basic land makes me happy, or just regular land, rather than Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal. Like, going on turn 1 is probably the safest and most brutal thing they can do. Bottomed both of the preordained cards. Love to see it. Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal. This even plays around days, which is just extra sweet. This forces me to play around days, whether I like it or not. Containment Priest chilling. Wasteland if they play a non-basic. Let's keep them under the Thorn as long as I can keep them there. Alright, Ancient Tomb. The Thorn keeps them from casting Show and Tell this turn. Oh yeah, 2 mana Ponder straight into my Wasteland. I probably want to Wasteland and cast Thorn, even if it costs me my Lotus Petal this turn. Just having 2 Thorns against an opponent with 1 mana in play, I suspect would buy me a lot of time. Oh, using that extra floating mana was good for them, bad for me. I hope I draw a land that can cast Containment Priest. That would make this decision really easy for me. Hey, we did it. Okay. I'm going to play the second Thorn with Wasteland up. This is playing around days. Though sacking Lotus Petal, picking up a land, is not where you want to be against the Thorn deck. I just really hate losing to daze. Or even getting a spell dazed. Even if it's good, better for me than it is for them, I still don't want to get dazed. Oh no, another Tomb. Getting scary over there. If I draw a Tomb, I'll jam the 4th or the 3rd thing. I did not do that. I'm going to say human on this. Pass the turn, much to their relief. If they do have land Show and Tell right now, I can flash in Priest. They can't force it because of the Thorns. And then they have to put in a non-creature, and I can put in Thought-Knot Seer and take whatever they would cast with the Omniscience, if they put anything in at all. A little Priest action here. Oh, right, I can't put in Thought-Knot Seer because Priest is in play. I can put in Thorn. Yeah, Thorn shuts down Omniscience also. Not if they cast a creature. Shit. Alright, I'm dead. If they have a creature, I'm dead. If they don't have a creature, then I might actually be okay. Wow, just passing the turn here. Come on, land for Thought-Knot Seer. That's just Thought-Knot Seer. That's not what I wanted. Well, they don't have the Emrakul. Or the Grizzlebrand. I'm a little worried right now. If they find a creature, I am slain. It costs 3 mana to cast Ponder, even with Omniscience in play. Come on, deck. Give me that land. Wasteland? Not exactly the land I was looking for, but I'm not mad about it. I'm going to attack for my 2. They were setting up an Intuition. No, they would have just Intuitioned in the main phase. That doesn't make sense. They can force this Thought-Knot Seer by paying 3 mana with Omniscience. Yeah, okay, there it is. Working my way through the cards in their hand before they draw Emrakul. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Time to be scared. Bottom, bottom. Show me the bottom, bottom. They topped? That sucks. What would you leave on top? That's not bad. I'm gonna attack with Containment Priest. And in the damage step, I'm gonna Wasteland. Targeting Ancient Tomb. This way they can't Force of Will my Thought-Knot Seer. Whatever it is they kept in their hand. I'm getting a look at it, but there's a card on top of the deck they like too. Top. God, that's scary. They wouldn't have a creature in the hand right now. I was trying to think of what they would have kept on the top. Let's look at this hand. What's going on? Oh, we got a whoops in the chat. And I'm taking Cunning Wish. There's a Show and Tell in hand. I mean, if you Cunning Wish in response to my Wasteland, then I just take whatever you wish for. So there's not really a line through that. I guess it's better to do it than not do it, but we're about to find out what the second card left on top is. If I draw a 2 mana land, I can get the Doctor into play, and then I don't even care if they do draw Emrakul. Alright, attack. I'm dead to Emrakul, but I actually do beat Grizzlebrand. White. 1/2. Displacer. Alright, what was the card you kept? Is it Intuition for 3 Emrakuls? They could have done that on their turn, though. Fetch in the end step. Nothing. Going on? What's going on? So scared. Oh, we got the GGs in the chat. They must not have come up with it. Opponent wishing me well, saying they couldn't handle the spice today. It's true. I can barely handle this spice. And we are on to the next one. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I am on the draw again in round 3, but I have turn 1 Chalice, turn 2 Displacer. I'm going to keep this. Opponent's on a Malta 6, Underground Sea, which no longer indicates a combo deck necessarily. Black is a playable control color again, thanks to Hitotsugu Consumes All. But anyway, here's Chalice of the Void. The little brainstorm in response, okay. Hitotsugu Consumes All, kills Chalice of the Void. For those of you keeping score at home. Uh-oh. Lotus Petal? Ancient Tomb? What the fuck? Oh, is this some sort of Tesserator deck? Oh, we're just ignoring all of this and going straight to the face. They don't have red mana right now. I'm going to Cavern on Eldrazi. Yeah, I'm going to skip the Thorn, play the Displacer, and hope that they can't make red mana or don't have a monster right now. They have red mana. And they have a monster right now. It's Grizzlebrand, okay. They have to find Emrakul and Red Source off of this. And by Red Source, I mean Lotus Petal. Okay, they're at 3. They can attack, go back up to 10. Can't just leave themselves at 3 because I have a 3/3 in play. Casting Show and Tell. I hope they regret this. Drowner is actually lethal. Like, Palace Jailer is cute, but Drowner actually just kills most things here. Oh, no. Doesn't kill Omniscience. It might kill Omniscience. No, not with the sneak attack. Like, if they just cast Emrakul right now, go to the extra turn, sneak attack will probably finish me off. So other creatures are legends. This is interesting. Let's go. What you got? Second Grizzlebrand. Don't care. You're dead through that. I do care about that. Okay. Original Grizzlebrand's already dead. To go to discard here. This is close. I think we actually win this game on the play. Beginning of combat. Tap Emrakul is required. Tap Grizzlebrand is also recommended. They can sneak attack in another Emrakul and just kill me. They didn't have enough Scions to make this happen. Oh wow, we just got through combat. If they cast a second Emrakul, that's good enough. There's a lot of ways we're dead here. Okay. You figured it out. All right. Yeah, they were identified that they needed to go in hard early. I think if I had Thorned... No, I drew the Thorn on turn 2. Yeah, if I had Thorn instead of Chalice, I think I win that game. But that was not in my hand. Containment Priest. It's weird we played against Show and Tell twice in a league. I usually don't see it at all. Sky Spawner is the worst card. Yep. That is how I feel about it. Let's go. I have a turn 2 Thorn here. This hand is just too slow. Okay, I'm going to keep this one. I don't need 3 Ancient Tombs. Opponent mull to 5. If they interact with Thorn, they'll be on 3 cards. If they don't interact with Thorn, I'll have Thorn in play. Probably casting a Lotus Petal here. Nope. Smasher, okay. I'm going to Cavern on Eldrazi. Play the Displacer. Now I have pressure in play. I can Smasher next turn. They're dead in 2. If I don't want to leave up Displacer. I guess it'll depend on what they do here. That's not an Ancient Tomb. I'm happy with that situation. Ooh, that changes things. If I play Eldrazi Temple, I can cast Smasher. If they show and tell a creature, if I play Ancient Tomb, 1, 2, 3, I can't get Thorn into play and leave up Displacer. I think I should just smash. It's going to put them to the test. If they show and tell, I'll put in Thorn and hope that it messes up their Omniscience. They could show and tell, put in Sneak Attack and smush me. Fury, that's fun. Oh, just on the hard cast too. Alright, so that kills Displacer and trades with Smasher next turn. Cool. Thalia, uncastable. Alright, let's get in there. Put 2 damage on them. Trade off with the 3/3 double strike. Play my Ancient Tomb, and then 1, 2, 3. Have to take damage to play the other Thorn. Just hope they can't cast any spells until Thalia comes down. Yeah, Wasteland. I want to take out Volcanic Island, not City of Traders. City will die anyway, and if they have red cards that I care about, like if they have like a Meltdown or a like just hardcast Sneak Attack, any of those things come through a Volcanic Island. They can't Intuition in response, don't have enough mana. They could Brainstorm here. Okay, ended up just floating mana, not using it. Costs all of the mana they have to cast Ponder. 2 mana for Lotus Petals, pretty good. I will do the same thing. 2 mana for Lotus Petal. And then I'll cast Thalia off of it. All right, now I'm actually attacking. And spells cost even more. Ponder costs 4 right now. This is a significant tax on the game. Show and Tell costs 6. Lotus Petal costs 3. It's a big ask. A Fury was pretty cool. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5 mana this turn. This is why I went after Volcanic Island instead of City of Traders. Like, they can't develop mana with City of Traders in play, or else they lose City of Traders. And that's what I played too. Did not shuffle. Scary. I need something to add the pressure. That's not it. Like another creature. Ooh, not that one. A land. Right, how about a Smasher, or Thought Not Seer, Displacer? Oh, that's a funny one. Can I even cast that? I think so. Thalia, get in. Okay, this card costs 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 4th Thorn of Amethyst is in play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're still 2 mana away from a Show and Tell. Come on, Smasher. Cavern on Human doesn't help me here. They're at 3. If they crack the fetch land, they're dead. They have to win this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Show and Tell costs 7. Okay. Yeah, this damage off Thalia is functionally also a Stone Rain, because they can't crack the fetch anymore. That's a good draw. Back for 2. Put you to 1. And Cavern on Human. White. Eldrazi. Okay, now I can flicker something once. Even if they get a Sneak Attack into play, they have to get through a flicker. Though I don't know how they would get Sneak Attack into play. Yes, let the hate flow through you. Is Null Rod part of my prison package here? I don't think that it is. Or I don't think it should be. Do I want Mindbreak Trap on the draw? Are they going to mull to 5 to a hand that just rips? That's possible. If I do that, what do I take out? I don't think that's the play. Yeah, that's just not how this works. And Worship doesn't beat Emrakul. Yeah, the deck that I have is the deck that I can play. Period. Alright, in we go. Well, this has potential. I'm going to keep it. I need a land for my Thought Not Seer, but I'm okay keeping on the strength of that. There's the land. Put you to the test right away. They have Spell Pierce. That's good here. They could just Brainstorm in response. Could Daze me. There's a lot of stuff that could happen here. I would love a land that casts Thalia off the top. That would be great. If I could curve Thalia into Thought Not Seer. Force Pitching Force. You got it. Alright, land that casts Thalia. Shit. Alright, we're in the danger zone. They're untapping into an unmolested 3 mana here. Don't like it. So they could even Blood Moon me. I don't have a plan for that. Sneak Attacks in play. I can Thought Not Seer them and try to take the card. This showed up a turn late, but I'm going to name Human for it. Let's hope they only have 1 monster and no follow-up plan. They have Fury. I mean, that's pretty good to put into play, but at least I can take the Grizzlebrand. Yeah, if they put in Fury, it kills Thought Not Seer. They get to draw a card and attack me for 6. That's really good. Oh, and they drew Ponder. That sucks. That's good too. Did we do better? They chose to shuffle. Okay, here's the Fury. Kills the Thought Knot. That's so cool. Really sick innovation there. There's the Flooded Strand we saw. There's Lotus Petal. They have 1 card left in their hand. If it was a monster, it would be in play. So it's not a monster. Which means I just want to put my foot on the gas. They are dead next turn to Smasher. I in for 5 now, in for 10 next turn. If they had a creature, they would have put it into play. They are top decking here. And they're passing the turn. Moment of truth. I can play this Petal and leave up Wasteland, I guess. I'm not spending Petal on that, fuck it. One of us is dead here. Good luck. Have fun. 1-2 punch, baby. In for 5, in for 10, dead. Nice sneak attack. On to the next round. I'm on the draw, 4 out of 4. This hand is not a keep. Mulligan the Reality Smasher hand. This has turn 1 Thalia and some options to it. I'll keep it. I think I want to send the Doctor. Sorry, buddy. Blooded Strand. And a Delver. We gotta try hard in the chat. Oh, that's fun. I'm gonna go Wasteland, Lotus Petal, Thorn. Put this Thorn into play. If they daze it, it's like I have Thorn. If they don't daze it, they see the Wasteland in play. And this would have been great on the play. Force pitching daze. Yeah. Didn't even daze a card that they could have dazed. That's the Tempo Life. Oh, great. They have Wasteland daze. Fuck! Tempo Life. I hate the Tempo Life. Why can't I win a die roll ever? My life is pain. Now I need to get my way up to this Palace Jailer before the game is over. Ponder. Their land. Delver's in for another crack. That's almost good. Oh, that lets me play around days. But it costs 1,000,000 life. But I think it's worth doing. I know about the days, like it's face up. I might as well resolve my spell. Yeah, turn 1 Delver against Ancient Tomb decks. Even if they get their prison elements online, the Delver just crunches. Flipped immediately. Showed me the days. Everything hurts. Oh. Eldrazi Temple. And I can just slam Reality Smasher into days, or I can... Yeah, I'm gonna set up Palace Jailer for next turn. Yeah, I can Jailer now, but I know about the days, so I'm gonna pass and play Jailer with Daze Protection next turn. At 5 life, tapping Ancient Tomb puts me to 3. Just dead to Bolt anyway. Alright, shit. Turn behind on this one. Play draw game. Team Vents with 4 cards in their hand. Yeah, I'm just dead to Lightning Bolt. None of this matters at all. I could... Nope. Nothing that can be done here except jam my spell. Palace Jailer. Concede to Lightning Bolt. They found the line. Good for them. Yeah, being on the draw against a Delver that flipped on turn 1. Like, this Delver flipped on the first try. If it flipped 1 turn later, I'm stable there. Kinda. I mean, still not, like, feeling good about that game, but that was not great. On the draw, like, on the play, I'm ahead with the Thalia on turn 1. A lot of problems there. I want the Worships, and I think that's all I want. I don't want, like, Leyline, even though it does affect Murktide Regent and Dragon's Rage Channeler. That's not really the plan. I like Jailer, I like Chalice, I like Thought-Knot. I just like all these cards. Maybe it's one of the Thalias. Or, I guess it would have to be 2 of the Thalias, wouldn't it? Or maybe it's one of the Doctors, one of the Thalias. Okay, I'm gonna do it like this. I really do need to get some prison elements down against this deck before they're ahead. This is a turn 1 Thorn. I'm gonna roll with it. Temple, Petal. Force of Will ends up being a 2 for 2. Force, Pitching, Ponder, okay. Now I'm hoping they don't Wasteland me. Yeah, there's just so much wrong with this matchup if they interact with your hate piece. All their cards cost 1 and yours costs 4 and 5. And Wasteland is just devastating at all times. And now I need a land to even can pretend to play this game. Delver flipped on the first try. Thanks a lot. Magic Gods. Land, land, land. 6 drop. Alright, yeah, we've lost. They kept a 1-lander. Oh, they drew another land. Land? Alright, I'll play a creature that dies to Lightning Bolt. Wish I had this last turn when they didn't have red mana, but here we are. This is why Eldrazi is not a tier 1 deck. I mean, obviously this one is asking even more of its mana with the colors and stuff, but... Oh, Brazen Borrower. That's not a Lightning Bolt. Okay. Yeah, just losing to this creature that I can't do anything about. The problem. Now they can iterate, pull ahead of their force. Yeah, absolutely shithoused here. At least they didn't find a Wasteland yet. Channeler. Okay, that's a big game. I can Thought Not Seer this turn and maybe Drowner next turn. I am going to make an uncounterable. Show me your secrets. Daze, Force, and the Festivities Chain Lightning. I think I have to take Chain Lightning here. Yeah, I need to draw a mana source for the Doctor. Buy some time there. I'm at 8. This Brazen Borrower is trouble. Okay, that is a mana source for the Doctor. Or I could play Displacer. But no, Drowner's way better. There it is, the Doctor. Here to operate. This lets Thought Not Seer attack. And then... Can I tempo them out with Smasher here? I have a lot of damage coming in quick. And I have enough mana to loop Drowner with Displacer. Yeah, this is definitely a tempo game. And the Festivities doesn't matter because I'm gonna kill all their shit. Or tap all their shit anyway. Tap Aberration. Tap Brazen Borrower. This does not get them Delirium. I am at 7 life. Another Delver, okay. I'll figure out how to ace this one out. Yeah, I think I need to displace here. I think it's attack, then use Displacer. Attack. We're at 4. Second main. White. Play Displacer. Can't be countered. They could daze it just to get Delirium, or dig for Delirium. They did not make that choice, though. Okay. Here we go. Delver, what do you got? Don't show me a bolt. God damn it. Okay. They're bolting my face. Oh yeah, I'm just dead. Damn it. Fucking Delver. I was so excited. We were like playing the game and stuff, and then just like, nah. Nah. Oh, didn't even matter. Oh, I guess they actually did need the second bolt there. Yeah, Ancient Tomb is too much here. So I flicker Drowner. I get 2 homies. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, if this was Eldrazi Temple and not Ancient Tomb, I could actually tap all their attackers right now by sacking 1, getting 2, but obviously that's not what I actually have. Okay. They got me by 1 there, 1 turn. Pretty reasonable showing against Delver. We can see how that would go correctly, but obviously it didn't. Just 2 lightning bolts, whatever. On to the final round. It is the final round. Positive records locked, playing for the 4-1. Finally won a die roll, and we do have a turn 1 uncounterable Thalia. Let's hope that's actually good in this matchup. Lotus Petal. Cavern on Human. Bang. Please be good, please be good. This is where my opponents like Goblin Lackey go. Their name is Caster Mage, though. Like, they must want to cast spells, right? That's the thing. Come on. Follow-up spell. Nope. I'm going to need a spell here. This Drowner of Hope is not going to win the game on its own on turn 6. Though it might if this Thalia buys me enough time. Prismatic Vista is a tough follow-up. I was counting on this Wasteland to keep this hand relevant. Sort of bridge the gap until I find something else to do. Opponent not interested. I think we're getting Plowed or Prismatic ended here. That was a Lotus Petal well spent. Attack for 2. Thalia answered on curve. Alright, Smasher. If I can sandbag the fact that I'm an Eldrazi deck for like a minute here. Oh, maybe I should have covered on Eldrazi there in case I draw Ancient Tomb or Temple. That was probably a mistake. Really worried about back to basics. Okay, I'm going to play Secluded Courtyard on Human. I can just bluff on my Human deck for another turn. Or is there like some... Okay, here. I'm going to name Fairy. I just want them thinking about Spellstutter Sprite. Like, I have enough Caverns and I have enough colored mana that I can throw this one away. I don't know if Wizard gives them enough information to... I want them squarely thinking about Spellstutter Sprite for a turn. Now they don't have to think about shit. Please plus to Fairy. Please plus to Fairy. They minus to Fairy. Didn't get my sweet action out of Reality Smasher. Oh, well, we might suddenly be on a Dr. Owner game. Okay, here's an uncounterable Smasher. do think I need to go face here. I can't afford to care about Teferi. I just need my opponent dead. Instant speed Supreme Verdict's not something I'm excited to play around, but I need to make them their life total 0. Just gonna attack again. Swords to Plowshares, trigger. Get a 2-for-1 off of this. Guarded a Tundra. Put another Cavern on Eldrazi. Here's the Doctor. Way less impressive against non-creature decks. What the fuck? They are 5 cards in hand into Teferi. Apparently can't beat Drowner of Hope. All right, this was a turn 6 Drowner of Hope game. We're just playing limited over here. Okay, I don't think any of my sideboard is relevant at all. My main deck is already built to chew up these fair decks like this with all the Thorns and Thalias and Chalices and Caverns. I might want some like Disenchants in the sideboard or something, just literally anything that could answer a permanent, because back to basics is a problem. But anyway, here's my deck. In we go. I'm going to mulligan this. This is too many creatures, not enough disruption. This is the same problem. Well, you got to stop somewhere. I'm going to keep this and put Smasher and Drowner on the bottom. Smasher and Drowner to the bottom. Opponent also mulled to 5. Thalia, not what I want. I'm very in the market for lands. A little emergency brainstorm right now. Yeah. A Prismatic Vista not being able to fetch Tundra means that they have to have land and Prismatic Ending in their hand to answer this Chalice, and not just the spell or just the land, but both. They're halfway there. Living on a prayer. That is not... Oh. Do I care about that? I don't think so. Not much. Okay, I drew a land. I'll take it. I'm not fussy. Thought-Knot Seer is just a 4/4. Cycling Timeless Dragon, that's pretty good. Alright, it's Smasher time. Had it all along. If they Swords to Plowshares this, they go down to 1 card in hand. I don't want to check their hand with Thought-Knot Seer because it's not a check. It's just a 4/4 that if they kill, they get to draw a card. They don't have to discard for Teferi, because that's not how Smasher works. It's spells, it's not spells or abilities. 2, 3, 4, 5. We're just back in there. Just keep punching. Attack them again. They're in the dead to second Smasher zone right now. Please don't play a land. I don't want to think about Supreme Verdict. Arset. Alright, don't give a shit. You're looking pretty dead. Yeah, Brainstorm, ain't it? Looks like we're just gonna smash. Hell yeah. Unless they've been sitting on a Force of Will over there. Yeah, cheesed over the finish line. Chalice of the Void bought enough time. I bet there's a Swords to Plowshares in that hand. Dope. Picked up the bread and butter 4/1 with this little brew. Losing only to Is It Delver, just the S tier deck in the format, while we were on the draw, and they drew well. Like there was a lot of... That was the universe letting me know that this isn't a real legacy deck. They're just like, hey, just so you know, people are over here doing this, so you need to slow your roll a little bit. Message received, universe. But we did beat up the rest of those decks pretty well. We got to showcase everything this deck does, which is we just like hard prisoned some opponents. I think it's the one show and tell opponent. We had 3 Thorns and a Thalia in play. That's a big deal. We did get to loop Drowner with Displacer once. We got to Machine Gun Palace Jailer once. Chalice of the Void showed up. Just Reality Smasher GG showed up. Yeah, we did basically everything the main deck wants to do. We never checked a draw step with Thought-Knot Seer. Games never got that grindy, but that was a pretty good showcase of the main deck. Sideboard needs work, obviously. I think that the Mindbreak traps might be a little bit clownish, considering the entire deck is already a prison deck. And if you have prison elements in play, then your own Mindbreak trap doesn't work. Just going to pop a couple Disenchants in the sideboard for things like back to basics. I feel like we got to rebuild the mana base a little bit too. Just Palace Jailer, like white cards felt uncastable. Like Palace Jailer was tough to cast, and cards like Worship are actually just uncastable. I feel like there has to be something better than Tarnished Citadel, but this one does come into play untapped, and you only have to tap it for a color if you really need it. Is that better than Secluded Courtyard? The one of Eye of Ugin was actually really good the one time it showed up. I don't know if you can play more of that card because it doesn't cast your non-Eldrazi spells at all. Yeah, there's Tarnished Citadel. Disenchants in the sideboard. I think I want to just put 2 Swords to Plowshares in the sideboard. Or maybe 4 Swords to Plowshares and get rid of the Worships. Yeah, Worship was cute, but I don't really see it happening. Plow obviously hurts with your own Chalice, but I think it is good enough. Like when you're on the draw against Eldrazi, that makes me want better white sources in the deck too. And a basic land. We did get Ghost Quartered a few times. If I put 8 planes in the deck, that gives me an out to Blood Moon and out to Back to Basics, because that casts the Disenchant. Maybe 3 is too many Drowners for the Legacy world. It is a 6-drop. It did win like basically every game it arrived. But an extra land and cutting the 6-drop sort of pinches the deck's mana hungriness in both directions. Helps cast the spells that you do have and gets rid of the most expensive one. And gives you these sideboard options. I'll disenchant Swords of Plowshares while insulating against Ghost Quarter, Field of Ruin, Path to Exile. All of them are fringe playable, but do show up in the format. Okay, I think this is where I'm going to leave the deck for now. There's probably more work that can be done on this, like clean this up. The blue splash is light enough now that maybe you just want to be mono white, but I haven't really liked mono white taxes, Eldrazi taxes in the past. It's a deck I'm familiar with in both Vintage and Legacy, and I just don't think it's very good. The Drowner at the top end just gives you a completely different angle to play games with than just mono white does, so I'm in on Drowner for now. Beerguard, thank you for asking me to play this. It was a lot of fun. We put up a 4-1, just inches away from that trophy. We could smell it, which is pretty good for just a brew out of nowhere. But knowing what the format is about, like how to attack the Legacy format, which is if your opponent can't cast spells, it doesn't really matter if you're playing a modern deck. And that's kind of how I approach this. That is how basically every version of Eldrazi approaches building their deck in whatever format they're in, but especially Legacy. Really shut down the opponent, and a 5-5 ends the game very quickly, especially if you have 2 of them. That's Eldrazi. Beerguard, thank you for the brew challenge. Everyone else, thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.